Yeah, so this is the truck, right? I flipped the neck and the kind guy helped me, but first I unhooked the Jeep, dropped the Jeep, then I flipped the neck with the machine. The Jeep. Yeah, the trip was crazy. This Highway 16, it's actually not that many mountains, but it's constant hills, you know, like up and down, up and down. Super hilly. Like my right hand is now 2 times the size of my left hand because of the constant shifting, you know. Like I definitely need more power. So like I threatened before, we're gonna get that tuna for comments. That's coming. Well, this is it. I found parking. Looks like free, you know, area near the small hotel here. There's a Northern Motor Inn, and then on the other side there's a Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn is like 139 bucks. So my Jeep is loaded. You see the neck is folded. No excavator anymore. That's it. Load is delivered. So now I have the paperwork signed. I just need to change because I'm all dirty after unloading. But yeah, this was quite a trip, you know. I was expecting much worse. I thought there would be like mountains, but the thing is, like you can see maybe behind the hotel, you see that huge hill, like green? and over there, like it's huge hills. Like there is mountains, but you know, basically that first video I did where I was just reaching the BC border, right, in Alberta, and then probably the first hour, that's like the real mountains, you know, like big mountains, you know. But there's nothing crazy like on Highway 1 we have to climb, or again, nothing crazy like in Idaho, you know, where it's really like a mountain pass. No, but the thing is, on this, they have really bad hills. You know, I was slowing down. The worst one was in Prince George, coming out of Prince George on Highway 16. I know it's like 40 degrees, you know. I try to pick up speed, but it's a city, right? So it's like 60 kilometers an hour, but then I think it goes to 70 or something, but you don't have much room to pick up speed. And then I start driving, and it was so bad that when I tried to, I was in low gear. I ended up being in low gear, and when I tried to shift into first, the truck lost so much speed that's it. I lost the gear and it just stalled, you know. Like, I'm sorry to say, but I stalled the truck. The truck died because it couldn't move. So I had to add throttle. Even like in low gear, it was very, very hard to it's a similar hill. One of these I experienced on Highway 20. Was it 20 or 20A in New York? There was a couple of hills like that, like very, very steep, you know. And of course, you know, I have all this weight. And then another one like this I experienced in Alberta when I was delivering in winter that pile driver from Las Vegas. There was a couple of hills like that, but that one is actually probably was the scariest out of all these, because it was winter and there was not enough traction, and you know, all the load is in the back, right? So my wheels were spinning going uphill, so I was afraid I would just start sliding down. That pile driver load was super scary. And I sent out, I'm not sure what I'm doing next, because of course now it's the Labor Day weekend, right? But what I do know is that I'll be paid tomorrow. I'll be paid tomorrow. I said bye-bye to nice guy Bill, the pilot, who stuck with me for 2 days, but average speed was probably 45 miles per hour, 72 kilometers an hour. It would take us 3-4 hours to do 120 miles, you know, because of all these constant hills, and you have to slow down to a crawl. But fuel was not bad. It was 99 cents over here in Alberta. I filled up in Edmonton, it was 95 cents Canadian per liter, and over here in British Columbia it was 99. Like, I asked Bill, I said, why everybody's so keen on filling up in Alberta? He said, well, in BC it's much more expensive. I said, how much more? Oh, I think $1.29. And then we found a station. Check this out. Try drive with a Tridem trailer. So I'm trying to think where to go, either to Holiday Inn or to that sad looking Motor Inn. I think I'll splash on the Holiday Inn. But I asked the guy, I called him on the phone because my delivery is like 2 kilometers away from here. I asked the guy, I said, I saw on the satellite image that you have parking in the back. I said, is that enough? Is there enough parking for a tractor trailer? The guy says, yeah, we have parking, but then I look at the corners. I cannot make that corner, you know, to turn in there behind. There's enough room behind the building, but there's cars parked on the sides there, you know. And so I made a strategic decision to park here. Oh, and I asked him, I said, hey, that parking across the street from you, is that free? Can I park over there? And the guy says, what parking? I said, across the street from you, right? So that's the hotel. No, across the street. I said, next to the Motor Inn. And the guy, I'm not making this up, the guy says, sir, I don't know this area very well. He does not know this area? You don't know the area in front of your hotel? Come on. Jesus. And another interesting encounter I had today. As I'm unhooking, right? And you saw the loading video, and you know me, my slogan is overchain, under promise, over perform. And so I had, how many chains? I forget. I had 5 pairs of chains. Anyway, a lot. It was more than enough. The poor machine didn't move a muscle during the 2,700-mile trip. So some guy is looking at me, and his truck was parked nearby over there. He just finished loading Tiger Cat, you know, a forestry machine. And he's looking at me, and I think he's having some kind of a brainstorm. And so finally he comes over and he says, excuse me, I just wanted to ask. I said, yes, sir. And he's a trucker. He says, I just wanted to ask, why do you have so many chains? And I look at his truck. He has 4 chains, 2 on the back, 2 on the front. But his trailer, it's one of those oil field, it's a low boy, but it has a ramp in the back. You know, like how lots of times these guys, you know, they do all these local moves. They don't want to unhook, rehook. What they do is it's like a big ramp in the back, right? So they just load all machinery from the rear without unhooking the neck. But it's the same lowboy like mine, except it's the deck, of course, is shorter because now you have the ramp in the back. So they're not very practical for highway trucking, but for local work like oil field work, when you have to do like 3, 4, 5 moves. And so this guy is moving the Tiger Cat, he said, into the bush. And I said, this is 105,000 pounds. And he says, I know, we move them every day. I said, so what do you suggest, how many chains you suggest I put? 4? And I just, you know, I thought that would be funny. The guy says, yeah, that's all we use. I said, you kidding? You want me to put 4 chains on a 105,000 pound machine? He says, yeah, we always put, you know, 1 chain on each corner on the track, and no problem, never lost the machine. And he says, I just wanted to ask, like, you have so many chains, is it personal preference, or is it because of the jurisdiction you're from, like you saw Ontario plate? And so I said, so you expect me to have 4 chains? He says, yes. I said, you know, 1 pair of chains on this trailer is only good, it's 10,000 pounds, so it can hold 50%, so twice, so 20,000 pounds. I said, 1 pair of chains, 1 on each side, is 20,000 pounds. So if I use 4 chains, that's only good for 40,000. The machine is 105. So anyway, but that's what all local guys do, you know, they don't care, there's no scales, and that's why accidents happen. So he just goes, you know, from the dealer into the field. And actually a couple of times these construction guys were you know, angry with me, like, why we have so many chains? Because of this guy, you know, because they're used to local guys not using proper securement, and they think that everybody should do it like that. So anyway, yeah, so driving was not as bad as I thought it would be. I was afraid there would be some mountains blocking the skyline, you know, No, it was just very difficult, you know, upgrades and then downgrades and turns, stuff like that. But mostly it was very hard on the truck. My fuel mileage was in metric was about 70 liters per 100 kilometers. But again, fuel was not too bad, 99 cents Canadian, and then I'm gonna get back what is that? I'm gonna get back HST, right, the sales tax. And so yeah, so unloading was yeah, the only issue that came up during unloading was we came to the address that they gave us on the paperwork. I parked there and I looked at the picture before. I looked on the satellite view, on street view, on Google, and I saw that there was entrance from the back, but I thought there was entrance from the front and entrance from the back. And I told Bill, I said, let's park here in the front. I'll go ask him. I'll go inside, and the lady said is on the phone, and I said hi, and she says, well, you're not unloading here, you have to go across the street. He says, over here we don't have enough room, like we've been receiving so much machinery. Our storage yard is across the street. I said, why did they give us this address? I don't know. So basically you're driving 2,700 miles. The load took over a week to deliver, and somehow this logistics chain failed to supply directions to the driver, you know. Like I'm sending updates every day, you know, like update, like the subject line on my email, update, reached this town, ETA so and so, reached this town, ETA so and so, you know, like reached Prince George, you know, so many miles or so many kilometers to the destination. So every day I would send them an email. So like I'm doing my part, I'm communicating with the broker, but I guess the broker, oh, and then I sent them an email. I said, they gave us the wrong address. I said, well, it's not too bad, it's like half a mile, but you know, with a big truck you have to turn around, go around corners. It's a nuisance, you know. I always hate when this happens, when you arrive somewhere and they look at you and kind of like they're not happy with you, kind of like, what are you doing here? It's not, you're not unloading here, it has to go across the street. Like, how is that my fault, right? I'm following directions, I'm following the procedure, but somebody screws up somewhere along the way, you know. That's always kind of like, to me, puzzling, that the truck was under this load for more than a week, and the customer couldn't figure out, or just, I don't know, they don't care. And I told my broker, I said, they're turning us around, I have to go across the road. And they said, oh gosh, we have 5 more trucks coming. And I said, well, maybe you should give them a different address, you know, so that people don't do this, you know, because this does not make drivers happy, you know. And then the dealer is not happy, right? Like, what are you doing here? You're supposed to go across the street, right? Am I supposed to? Anyway, don't get me started on always something's wrong in the paperwork, right? So either dimensions are wrong, or the weight is wrong. Like the weight was wrong this time, right? Dimensions were okay, but the weight was wrong, the address was wrong, but we did it. Despite all the obstacles, Captain SERGEI delivered. So I got my paperwork here all signed and stamped. So now I'm gonna grab it, take it with me, and use my iPhone to scan and email it to myself so that I have a copy, and then you know, I'm gonna email it to the broker as a POD, proof of delivery, and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna email it to my factor and get paid. And of course this is tricky time with the Labor Day coming, right? I'm too tired, I'm not gonna, you know, it's too late to check the load board, but I sent out my mass email to all the brokers I usually work with, and saying that, you know, RGN is available, So maybe somebody will have something, I don't know, maybe from Vancouver or maybe from Alberta, I don't know. I need to get to Ontario because I need to update my cab card. I don't know if I can do it by email or I have to be there in person, but my cab card, which is like super important document for the truck, it's like registration, you know, with all the weights for each jurisdiction. It's like prorated, proof of your prorated international plate. Like I can go with this truck, I can go anywhere in US and Canada. So I don't know if I can do it remotely, or I have to. Usually we would go there because you have to pay. Like my plate costs about $3,000 a year, but this time I received some kind of an email, some kind of a notification saying that because of COVID-19 they're trying to minimize personal contact. So I think now it's all done by courier, so I don't know. But anyway, so the plan is, yeah, either get to Ontario or find a load somewhere in the States that goes to Ontario, or find a load from here that goes to Northeast US, and then I can deadhead back home. But from here it's too far. From here it's 3,000 miles to Ontario. So I don't want to go empty so much, you know, because of the fuel. So anyway, yeah, so that's the plan. Just relax, take a shower, celebrate a little bit, and then prepare the paperwork for the broker, for the factoring. And then tomorrow I'm gonna start looking for a load, and I gotta decide what I do. Do I sit here, or do I just head back somewhere? Like at least I can get to Prince George, because which is, you know, halfway between here and Alberta, right? So then if there's a load, I can oh, and also from Prince George I can go south to Vancouver, you know. So like Prince George is a good area because you're very mobile, you can get anywhere. But sitting here over the weekend, and there are not gonna be any loads probably until end of next week. But one broker reached out after I did this mass mailing. One broker reached out, he says he might have something. I said, where from? He says it's either from Las Vegas or from I forgot the other location, but he was working on a couple of loads, and he said he'll be in touch. I said okay, so hopefully maybe something will happen tomorrow, I don't know. Anyway, this is it. This is the end of a super long trip. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So I'm gonna do 2 videos today, right? I'm gonna do the video for the BC part, and this unloading video. So today is what, Thursday, right? And I'm in Terrace, British Columbia, Canada. Ciao.